Okay, time for a reading. Got to get back to it. Here we go. Be happy. It's a book with stains on it. It's got to have some wisdom. I'm going to read just a couple of quotes. I'm not going to say who they're from, just share their wisdom. Only love makes life meaningful. When you think of God as love, that gets greater depth. You must find the passion, an unrelenting passion. Only passions, great passions, can elevate the soul to great things. Follow what you love, and it will take you where you want to go. There are many things in life that will catch your eye, but only a few will catch your heart. Pursue these. The essential conditions of everything we do must be choice, love, and passion. Love that. All right, sacred contracts. Got this random book. Also has a bunch of stains. Must be good, right? Something in the book in the front. Let's read here real quick. I'm not going to read too much. As part of our intimate relationship with the divine, it prods us to learn lessons and work on our spiritual growth in ways that we may consciously resist at times. That may sound like a contradiction. If we have co-created our contract with the divine, meaning our life here, that's what this book is about, why would we resist or ignore it? And this is where we can pull in the Course in Miracles, which says you really can't get off your life path or sort of your purpose or mission, but you can delay it. Of course, when you're on an eternal timeline, if you believe in infinite lives, taking a lifetime to play ain't that big of a deal. But you're still going to feel that calling. That's the thing. See, when you're on an eternal timeline, there's no rush. Then you get into Taoism, which says, what nature, everything gets accomplished, but it never hurries. It's that trust and everything working out because time really isn't a factor. We do because before we're born, we forget the particulars of our agreements. We have to remember our purpose by taking action and searching for it. This is not as difficult as it may sound. Because when you're living in accord with your contract, you usually know you're on the right path. We all slip off the right path at one point or another. However, perhaps when we are trying to take the path of least resistance, as the nuns who taught me used to say. Ironically, what seems that the path of least resistance can be more arduous in the long run if you're acting against your contract. Isn't that the truth? And I would say the path of least resistance is generally the path of lesser courage. It's like, what's the easiest way to go without ruffling too many feathers? We can also choose to enlist the aid of archetypes, spirit guides, and even the grace of God through prayer and meditation to attempt to fulfill our agreements more expeditiously. If you do not choose to believe in a literal pre-birth contract or in reincarnation or in even the power of grace, you might want to view your life metaphorically. It's a great option as a journey you have agreed to take. In past life regression therapy, for instance, patients are invited under hypnosis to re-enter the events of previous experiences. Yet the leading proponents of this method have shown that the vivid stories people uncover about themselves during regression do not need to be viewed as literal events in order to be emotionally beneficial. I've personally experienced healing from stuff like that, where like I've had a symptom in my life and then never had it again after the right kind of therapy of something that happened further in the past, whether this life or other. And that's the great way to view it. Like, you don't have to get literal with it. It just worked. So why do we care? People who remember past life wounds, beliefs, revelations, and family histories invariably feel that they have gained from the insights of these memories provide into their unconscious and their life situation. You can also think of your sacred contract as your own unique contribution to life around you that arises from your particular set of circumstances, relationships, and family. Whatever interpretation you choose, the extent to which you can decode your contract will depend on your willingness to accept that everything we do is for a purpose far greater than we will ever know, that every deed you do affects your life and others for good or ill. The good news there is only the good stuff is permanent in the eternity. Just so you know, only love is real because God is love. Anything that isn't love, God doesn't know, so it's not permanent. Take that how you will. As Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, we inter-are. To believe in an invisible order, a divine or implicate order, as quantum physics calls it, or the order beneath the disorder that chaos theory describes, is a healthier, more interesting choice than seeing no meaning in life whatsoever. Discovering and working through your archetypes and other elements of your contract will change your view of your own destiny. I loved this work when I did it. I've moved on since then, but I still pull on it all the time. You'll bring new meaning to your life and move from seeing it as a random and haphazard to accepting that it is carefully planned and directed. And that's really the thing that all spiritual work is about. It's about becoming, like, the journey of self-development to wholeness that we talk about sort of in therapy or coaching is actually the spiritual journey, which I never would have known if I wasn't walking it and really taking that path. And it's really all about giving yourself your power back, that you're creating might be too strong a word for some, so attracting what's happening around you. That as you move, as you think, as you believe, you're creating your environment. And you can prove that on even the smallest scale, in the sense of, if you wake up and you stub your toe and you like have that energy in the morning, like, oh God, it's going to be one of those days. It's one of those days. That alone shows you that when you're in a certain space, you attract certain stuff. If someone's really rude to you, you go out into relationships and can be rude to others as a result because you're unhappy or sad or upset. And then those people go and do it. In that way, we are always creating in relationship. And when we don't feel worthy, when we don't ask for what we need, when we don't express in a worthy way, we keep so much light out of this world. And that's why it's a divine journey to understand your worth and where it comes from and how you can ground yourself in it, because it doesn't come from here in the events of this life, but they do impact it. So it's about getting to that really core cause and condition. If we really want to get happy, that's really why I stopped the spiritual study here for a little bit, because I needed to shift my beliefs in my life. And I realized, until I could see in the results in my life that my worth had reached a certain level because what I was teaching, I clearly believe and practice and was showing up in my results, that I need to just be quiet and figure this out. Not figure it out, practice. And what happens is you go up and down as you begin to realize how important your emotional state is, as you begin to realize happiness really does make the world a better place. Even in the simple way I just described. Apply being happy all day, making people laugh. Everyone you talk to, you ask how they are, you care about them. They feel better and they go out and make the world a better place. So when I was really getting how important happiness was, and then all the work from Abraham that says, hey, it literally attracts what you get. And if you have faith, hope, and love, and you live in that space, and you realize that nothing on this planet can actually hurt you because you're on an eternal timeline, because you can die and come back infinitely, until you realize that nothing can really hurt you here, the most it can do is take you out of the game for 40 years. And you're really not out of the game for 40 years. You're just not a fully operational adult, I should say. But when you realize that, you can move differently. You can attract differently. And I had to get there before I could really start to talk about these. And you have to go up and down a lot, like happy, unhappy. And the reason for that, I see, is because you're learning what it actually attracts as a result of what you think and feel. And it's big, because you start to see, wow, when I'm happy, things go great. And then when I'm sad, oh my God, like pipes break. And, because you're also getting more powerful, but you're also looking for the evidence. So it's more evident. Confirmation bias all day long. So anyway, so through that process, we begin to become more whole. You begin to go, oh, you have to roller coaster. Things have to come apart, because you have to realize you're the one who's in the relationship with the world. And as you're breaking down your beliefs inside, things in your life break down. You're reforming, and the things you had before don't work for where you're going. And that's hard and sad. And a lot of people stop there. It's almost stopped me 50 times. Like, I don't want to lose these relationships. I don't want to hurt people I care about. I don't want to change everything, but I do. And the further I go, the way I feel is the most addictive thing. I feel more confident. I feel more peaceful. I feel more happy and loving. And so then I realized, even if that upsets some people, it's just flat out better for the world on a grander scale, and numbers matter, and I get to pay attention, and myself. I want a good, happy life. I love speaking and sharing my truth. I want to do that. And so I get to follow the path of that. my currency is knowledge, not money. Like I get fed by knowledge. If learning, like knowledge, were caloric, I'd be 800 pounds. But the funny thing about knowledge is it's not like that. It doesn't stick to you in that sense. And ideas and knowledge actually get stronger the more they're shared. Have you noticed? Where like money, you share it, or any physical thing, it shrinks. But something like an idea, something like spiritual growth, something like knowledge shared freely and openly, everybody gets better together. Everybody gets stronger together. And then everything gets better together. So that's kind of the thread I've been following, and it comes with this type of material. And it definitely started with sacred contracts. Carolyn Meese was a huge breakthrough for me, just in letting me get more power back over what was happening to me. Like I said, I've set down some of that thinking, but it really worked for me to start. I use a lot of it still, I should say. I use a lot of it because there's a metaphorical, symbolic way of looking at your life that's really helpful in getting neutral about some of the things that are happening. And it's all about neutrality and learning to hold that emotional center. It's really emotional mastery. But emotional mastery is not having emotion. That's a lot of people think emotional mastery is not reaction. It's not that. It's the elimination of reaction, but not because there's an efforting. It's an understanding. And it takes a time and a wisdom. I'm sure for some it's shorter than me. It's taken me a lot, but I am getting there, so that's what's so exciting. Anyway, thanks for being here for our reading. I plan to return a lot more to do it now. We're reaching a new phase, and I just want you to know that I think about you and I love you, and I am so grateful to be on this journey with you. And hopefully we get to interact more. Be well.